Hey everyone, it's Mary. It's Sunday yet again with more of midlife journaling. You know, Sunday's my day. Like here I am. I'm still in my workout clothes. It's I don't know, 5:30 at night here in Poland, and I'm still in my workout clothes because I got so excited. So today's discussion is about like where do you find inspiration? What inspires me? I can find those little joys, those little sparks of inspiration anywhere in my life, and so I hope that you can too. And today we'll get to talk about it, think about it, journal about it, so that we can stay focused on those things that inspire us instead of getting on that hamster wheel of life about things that are holding us back, or people that might upset us, or get in how we might deem get in our way, or um, don't have our best interest at heart, or things that make us feel less than. Today is the opposite of that. Today we're going to talk about inspiration. So today, first thing this morning, I was inspired because I decided, and I do this every once in a while just to check myself out. While I was working out, I work out 6 days a week. So I switched from yoga one day to working my upper body one day to working my legs another day and working my core another day. And then I start this whole regime all over again. And today I decided that I would record myself so that I could see like my progress, because you get dressed to put my clothes on and I don't get to like see what's happening with my body. I mean, yeah, I feel good and my clothes fit great, but I don't really take the time to I really never look at myself when I'm working out. So I wanted to see what might, what it might look like. So I pulled out my ring light stand and I put it in the kitchen because, I live in 450 square feet. So, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I can't say, oh, geez, I don't have the space to exercise. I can't exercise. That's bullshit. So I exercise in the kitchen on the floor. Now, sometimes that's a bad thing because then I get to see all the crumbs and everything that's been dropped along the way and I get distracted. But today, the floor was clean. And I set up my camera and I got to see like my muscle structure, like what has happened to my body since I've been really consistent about working out. And it was, I kind of felt weird at first when I, was doing it, like, taking a movie of myself, like videotaping myself. But then as I reviewed it, and I'm going to post some pictures because it was cool to see, and hopefully it will be inspiring to you too to see movies of what you can do. Like, I'm going to be 67 next month. So, like what I can do, like there are things that I have control over and there are things that you have control over. And so we want to take a look at those things that we have control over that inspire us, or to surround ourselves with that person or those people that inspire us, or the book or the webinar, or whatever it is that inspires you to do something more brave, to do something that maybe you've never done before, something you want to do for the very first time. So in videotaping myself today, I got to see these, as I mentioned, these changes in my body and how much stronger I feel. And it inspired me, number one, to stay in my workout clothes so that I could, like get this whole feeling of me, the stronger version of me. Because at Christmas time I had COVID, which turned into a heart issue. And so the first, 4 or 5 months of this year sucked. it was depressing. I kind of lost my soul. Like I had a hard time, keeping up with the things that really mean a lot to me and what inspires me. And instead of being in that space, I was looking for some inspiration of how I could claw my way back out to some kind of normalcy. And that's one of the reasons why I journal, as I talked about before. So if you take your pen and paper out, light a candle, put on some cool music, whatever it is, get comfy, then take a look at what actually is inspiring you today. Like right now, like what. So for many of you, let's see, it's even morning time on the Pacific Coast. So that's even better. So you're in your pajamas and you get out your journal and you start to write what's inspiring me today. Maybe what happened last week that really made me feel creative and curious and joyous about my life. Or what is it that I have to look forward to this week to inspire myself to move forward, to get up every day and have that day planned out instead of just flying by the seat of my pants, which I often talk about myself being a fly by the seat of my pants girl. But really, in all actuality, I'm a list maker. I love graph paper. All of my notebooks now are graph paper so that I can make little check boxes. Like that, I love opening my journal. I have a pad right here. I actually hang it on my wall in my international headquarters. That is graph paper so that I can check boxes. I can check boxes. I can see movement. That inspires me to see movement. So, what kind of movement inspires you? Like different kinds. Is it work related? Is it personal related? Is it relationship, love interest related? What is it that inspires you? And when I'm journaling, I often like to write affirmations or gratitude statements. And so if that speaks to you, by all means, right away, get that pen and have it flow across that paper. But a lot of times, when we're creating affirmations, we have to make sure that they're believable. Or we have to kind of trick the subconscious to get it to understand that we are in dress rehearsal phase, for instance, or it's something that we want to aspire to instead of something that we are right now. So, for instance, if I weighed, let me say this: if I was a size in America, we have sizes 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, whatever. If I was, for instance, a size 16, and my affirmation was that I would say over and over to myself every day, I am happily living in a size 6 body. Well, my subconscious is immediately going to spit that back to me and go, that's not true. Like, what mirror are you looking into? What clothes are you putting on? Because that's not true at all. So, in creating believable affirmations that can inspire us to move forward, sometimes you got to play with the wording and kind of trick your subconscious into helping you move forward. So, that same affirmation might be something like, currently, I am a size 16 and I desire to eat well, feel great, to exercise more often, and move toward becoming a size 6. Do you see how that changes? Now, there isn't anything in there that the subconscious is going to throw back to me and say, yeah, like, that's not true. Hello. So, what is it that you could write down about what might inspire you today? What is inspiring you today? Maybe you're hanging out with family. So, in thinking about this, sometimes I find people get stuck in writing good things about themselves, or they get stuck in seeing the wins that they have had. So let me just give you a few prompts if that happens to be you. So some things that you might write about as far as inspiration or something that's inspiring you is something about all the things I'd like to try someday. Like everything that you want to try someday. Um, like maybe you want to go in a hot air balloon. Maybe you want to take your first airplane ride. I had a friend of mine take her first airplane ride the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, that's crazy. So what does that feel like to take your first airplane ride? Like how can you be in anticipation of that and have that anticipation be your inspiration for doing something different? Maybe you want to talk to some people that fly frequently. Maybe you want to go to the airport and just kind of hang out. I love airports. I love people watching. So that's one of my favorite places. But so what is it that's inspiring you? Let's see. I promise myself. I promise myself to be so positive that no negativity can stop my way of thinking. I promise myself. So it's taking things that it's helping you to uncover things that would inspire you. I never want to forget this. Like, what is something that happened to you recently that you never want to forget? You know, sometimes when there's something on social media or an article I'm reading, I either stick it up in Evernote. If you don't use that app, it's a great app, Evernote, so that I know that it's there. Or I might just Facebook message it to me, so I have it in my Facebook messages so that I can get back to it, so that I don't forget this, so that it's something that I can turn to keep inspiring me. So I never want to forget this, that moment in time that you never want to forget. Another thing that might inspire you, I know it does me. My husband and I are looking at doing another trip. This time it's going to be a road trip. So we are looking at that path that it's going to take. So where do I want to go? Where do I want to go on my next road trip, on my next vacation, on my next, where do I want to go to dinner? Like what might get you excited about being curious, getting into thinking about and researching, or being inquisitive about places that you want to go, things that you want to try. And that could be recipes, even. Like I just made a new recipe on Pinterest for dinner tonight. So, like what is it that gets you excited about trying new things? You know, I don't know if this is inspiring for you or not, but sometimes when we think about ourselves, we look at our past. We look at the mistakes that we've made, which I have made plenty. The hurts that we've had, the embarrassments that we've had. But what if you wrote about what I want you to know about me? What I want you to know about me. Everything that has moved you forward or gotten you here to today. What, how could writing something like that inspire you to keep going and keep growing? What I want you to know about me is there's so much. Like one of the leadership development programs that I went through, we had to stand up in front of everybody and tell everybody something about us that nobody in the room knew. So what would that be for you? Like maybe it's something that you haven't even told your friends. I mean, sometimes I think, this, I don't need to talk about that. But what, maybe there's something that is innately you that nobody else knows about you. One really special thing about me. What if I could scream that from the mountaintops? That one really special thing about me that could change somebody's life. And may I be so presumptuous to say, most likely it would change somebody's life if you were inspired enough to share and be the light for somebody else, right? How can you be the light for somebody else? What is it innately true about you that could be the light for somebody else? What a gift that is, right? Such a gift. My idea of a perfect day. So I was just writing a blog on money mapping. And the thing about money mapping is taking a look at how we spend not only our money, but our energy and our thoughts. So money mapping is kind of like taking in the whole body. It's taking a look at everything that you connect with, body, mind, spirit, in money. And in that perfect day, considering body, mind, and spirit around money is how can you use the thought of money as an inspiration? It could be an inspiration to use it and spend it in a smarter way. If you were using money for an inspiration, it could be that watching those pennies grow into dollars. I saw a great thing on Pinterest today where it's called the 100-day money challenge, where every day you put in an envelope that amount of money that is that day. So for instance, envelope number 1 has $1 in it. Day number 9 has $9 in it. So you see how quickly you can get your money to grow if you're paying attention to it, right? So my idea of the perfect day is my perfect day, for instance, is inspiration is part of my perfect day. So what about inspiration makes your day a perfect day, right? It could be, I laugh at. What do I laugh at? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My husband likes to translate Polish jokes into English. And this morning he told me one that was absolutely hilarious. So I love to laugh. I love big belly laughs, like something where my whole body is into it. So what do you laugh at? And how does that inspire you? Because, if somebody tells you a joke, you've got to be present, right? You've got to be like, your mind has to be in the room with them in order to, like, get it and be part of that story. So what is it that you laugh at? And then when you look at that, you could also say about inspiration, I promise myself. So how can, by you promising yourself or committing to something, how could that inspire you to do something different, be something different, do something different? How can you making a promise to yourself, and not in a uh, hold on, like in a you can there's a difference between promising yourself and like stubborn kind of promise, like, I'm gonna do this, as opposed to, I'm gonna promise myself to pay more attention to my fitness goals. Now that I've seen the images that I look like, I'm going to promise myself to really, maybe I want to start using a habit tracker with my workout. So what can I promise myself that can inspire me to be better, to do better? And what might that look like for you? So I hope that writing about something that inspires you, or writing some affirmations that might inspire you, and maybe instead of saying I am, you can say I want, then the mind can play along with you also. You can try it both ways and see what works for you, because sometimes I use the I am and sometimes I use the I want, depending on how big, hairy, and scary I'm getting with my affirmations. So I hope that helps. I can't wait to hear you next week. Don't forget to put your thoughts down in the comments, and let me know if there's anything else that you want me to focus on with your midlife journal, because I will be happy to do that for you and be your guide. So ciao for now. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.